inequality, of unemployment?
Yeah, it goes without saying that not many are conscious about what is going on, but we have those few that have realized that indeed they have a part to play, and they come up with some initiative ideas, and you see that when you look at them, they need that support from the government, because it is not everybody that should be taken through the mainstream of doing things. There are people that will go beyond and bring up their own things, and if you look at it, it is beneficial to the next person. But then as a government, we need to be able to identify those skills and those innovative ideas so that they are supported, and then they will as well bring in, instead of just forcing people to go through certain things like education and all that.
But that's interesting because largely the role of government is to create an enabling environment.
That's right.
But also, whatever sector we speak about, we need drivers. Whether we speak in logistics, whether we're speaking in education, we're speaking recently green hydrogen, oil and gas. We need drivers for this. So, is the private sector part of the drivers of development? Are civil society driving development? Who are the drivers of development in this region?
So when we talk about people who are bringing service to the people, we talk about water, basic stuff, water, electrification and all that. It has to do with what is it that the government or the local government is doing in order to make sure that they complement their effort so that the region is developed. For example, when you talk about electrification, just within the town of Rundu, which is the heart of the region, we still have so many places that are dark, but then we have NORAD that is there to supply this electricity. How do they come together to make sure that NORAD ensures that their service is indeed being felt or benefited to the people? So that is the kind of driving that we need. When we talk about the NAM water together with town council, how are they making sure that the water reaches the people? We can't be in a town which is alongside the river and the water cannot reach people, water that is consumable and potable to the people. We need to do something. There need to be that will from everyone to make sure that these things are met.
And that's interesting because then we can connect it to the significance of the Office of the Governor in maybe doing what you're talking about, this multi-sectoral approaches to solving problems like electrification, like access to water. What do you envision the role of the governor should be this time around?
As an enabler, the governor should be an enabler. It should be a catalytic office that actually stimulates development within the region, looking at all interested parties, including young people that you're talking about, the youth. And I think for the governor to be effective to that extent, one needs to have a structured approach. And obviously we have an existing default system in place of constituencies, of councillors, of traditional authority, of the OMAS offices, structures that are there already. But I think you need to have an interactive framework that pulls these various stakeholders and players together in terms of planning, in terms of implementation, and in terms of evaluation to see where are the gaps in terms of what investments we have done in the place.
That's interesting because if we connect some of the conversation of what you're saying to what was spoken about in Zambezi, it was saying, we accept agriculture as a primary industry or the sector for the development of the region, but there are issues in terms of access to land, because some of that land might be in the hands of traditional authority. Some of those lands might be in the hands of the state itself. Are some of those issues also applicable in this regional context?
They are, but my problem with the issues of land, I don't want to be as dumb as just discussing land without a context. For me, land makes a difference to our livelihood if it is serviced. It makes a difference to our livelihood if land is registered and we can begin to use land as an asset. Whether it's in rural areas or urban areas, we need interventions that actually accelerate the pace of asset registry in order to tap into the rural assets that becomes tradable in order to stimulate growth at the rural level.
Interesting.
If we don't have those interventions, land just becomes one of those structures that doesn't make any sense to anybody.
Interesting when you're looking at it in that angle.
Yeah.
What are some of the key areas? The president has recently launched NTP6. We obviously have to look at it in terms of a regional priority areas as well. What are some of the key areas that the region will be focusing on given the context and the scope and the spectrum of just how wide the NTP6 is?
Yeah.
Doctor has have looked at the NB6?
Briefly, yes.
But what are some of the key sectors, I mean, in terms of development for the sector within this development context?
Well, look, maybe before I look at that, I want to take an advantage of this to say you mentioned on the previous question you asked him, you spoke about young people and urbanization issues. Look, Namibia, it's a highly urbanizing country at the moment as we speak. More than 50% of the population are beginning to live in urban settlements. And therefore, the NDPs that we are putting in place as drivers for planned development in the country need to be cognizant of that reality. Young people that we are saying are highly unemployed in these urban areas or in these regions are actually mainly concentrated in towns. And I think when national development programs or regional development programs don't take the fact into account that young people are actually in urban areas, we might be missing the point. And therefore, one of the things that not only NPC, NDP was talking about, is actually to go along with the SWAPO manifesto of making sure that arts, for example, is one of becoming a recognized
the creative industries
profession and occupation.
Yes.
And if that is not given precedence, even at regional level, I think we might be missing a point to that effect.
And that's the point I was asking.
Yeah.
And
maybe before you come in, the other issue to do with that is that young people are actually predominantly in the digital space, in the artificial intelligence space. But most of these regional development plan and SORAs actually have no account to young people in that respect.
Interesting. Emerging industries.
Trading digital assets, virtual assets that were proclaimed by Bank of Namibia, but nothing is happening in that respect.
Friends?
Yes, no, the development have to consider the young people, because these are the people that will push it further where elders are going to end.
But I think he's bringing up an interesting dimension to say, there's the few jobs of the future, for instance.
Yes.
Not just jobs of the now, but a lot of the development efforts and development planning just look at the current context and not necessarily where jobs or the world is wired for in the future. And then how do we kind of leapfrog or...
Online jobs, for example, Yeah.
But with regards to employment, where the young people that are really into the streets, they have gone to school, they are ready to work, but the opportunities are not there. My concern is, what is government doing in order to make sure that they reduce the tax from those that are trying to assist them in terms of employing the people? There are corporates that are trying to employ people, and then they have to pay these people in terms of salaries, but then they are being charged so much to an extent of saying that, no, I only need to employ this much, and the rest should remain like that because I still have to pay.
For instance, if you look at the government recently introduced youth credit scheme, right, which predisposes that if you take an internship, you from your tax can reduce about 5,000 per intern per month. Maybe sometimes it's an issue of access to information.
Yes.
And so the question is, how do we then ensure at a regional level that we just don't report back on development, but also the opportunities, that are presented to people?
Yeah.
How can that be improved?
Actually, as is, most of these opportunities or enablers are actually there in existence.
They exist.
We have a problem of a gap of information, which is playing very much down on ignorance of our people to access those opportunities that are put up by government. For example, I think there are, and maybe to enable that kind of information acceleration to local communities and different stakeholders, you need to have a robust information transmission centers. A center where young people can come in, like in a region like Kavango, and have access to, well, look, first of all, we don't have much traditional libraries, are not there. But you need conventional or contemporary information centers that provide young people with tenders, with employment opportunities where they can deposit their CVs and hopefully get some responses from some of the potential employers. But these things are not there.
But why are they not there?
I think it's a question of priorities. I don't know why they're not there, but they should be.
But I think as a country, we have to kind of be reflective in terms of what's working and what's not working.
Yeah.
And when we talk about what's not working, can we say maybe there might be a lack of a cultivation of a culture of care?
Yeah, because facilities like that are actually social infrastructure that go to the bottom of enabling and stimulating development. But maybe when we are planning, they tend to go very down low on the list of our priorities.
But the things that you mentioned, virtual assets, do we care about that? Do we care about the realities of like future of the jobs,
Yeah.
of artificial intelligence and how we can use those as tools to, you know, provide services and products
Yeah.
that are more enhanced and that
Yeah.
are better quality? You know, those are the things, you know, but my question is, do we find that, you know, obviously this exercise of Sora shows that we care about reporting back on the status of development, but do we need to mainstream that culture of caring about where the opportunities are, how do we access them, what's available, how do we utilize them, and the
it
issue of
actually
sustainability?
it actually comes down to young people participating in
Okay.
development planning.
Okay.
And if they are not actually active enough in development planning and you know, shaping the agenda for development, those things will not come to the surface.
Let's talk about participation. How do young people participate in development?
In terms of participation, first of all, before one participates, a door needs to open for that participation to be accommodated.
Yeah.
If we talk about information dissemination, for example, if there's something going on, we have the office of the CRO, where information should be coming from. And then we have the office of the MICT. What is it within their mandate that they should do in order for them to spread their wings so that the information through them can reach places that they need to reach? Because we need, when you have an office, you need to know, where am I able to find person A? How do I need to go about it so that my information can reach there?
But are the young people organized though? So let's assume, you know, that there is the doors open.
Exactly.
I mean, let's assume that, you know, best case scenario, let's assume the door is open.
Open.
When young people participate, you know, it's again this issue of, you know, self-interest versus
Self-interest,
the
yes.
common good. How do we advocate for young people to also act in the interest of the public by ensuring that we are in alignment with the common good?
That's exactly what I'm busy doing every day, to make sure that I develop the interest of people, to make sure that everybody sees the importance which they can bring on the table. For example, if you look at recently the president have stated that the development of this country depends on all of us. Everybody has a part to play. Now, if everybody has a part to play and you just sit on your own and think that things will come to you, that's something that still should be reprimanded on the part of the young people. But the young people need to stand up and look forward to see, where am I able to play my part?
But in the
That is the
generational context,
information.
but I think also the part of the conversation is not just looking at young people in isolation, but looking at an intergenerational dialogue.
Yes.
Are young people motivated? Are they inspired?
Exactly.
Let's speak to that,
Yeah.
The nature of leadership in this country.
You look, two things. If we, baby boomers, for example, are in position of power and driving the agenda, and we have no clue what an email means to me or what artificial intelligence means to me, you would have a disconnection with the young people, because they are not sitting there. They're not sitting in a crop field. Young people are sitting on TikTok.
But how are we
Young
learning from each
people are
other?
on WhatsApp.
But then the question
But
is,
if we don't reach them and go to those avenues and bring them in, that becomes a
but doctor, the
dislocation.
question then is, are there spaces for intergenerational dialogues?
And that's how we need to reach them.
Are the Olapale still functional? Come and speak to us about this. You know, I think there is an importance here in terms of intergenerational dialogue.
This kind of things, we force things to say. We are dreaming to say, by this time we need to be a digitalized nation. But then when we talk about digitalization, the basic that needs to power this digitalization is not there. We still have learners who are being taught in schools without electricity.
Yeah.
And this child knows that their interest is on things that is being displayed on a screen and all that. You come there with your chalk and all that. This child is not even interested. And at the end of the day, this child goes through this school, but this school never went through him. So at the end of the day...
But then the question is, where do we get to understand that curriculum that you're speaking about? Because there seems to be a disconnect. How do we attack this?
We go back now to the people who are going to play this part as enablers. How does a person say, no, we have a school there that doesn't have electricity. Who should help us in bringing this electricity? The governor then as enabler and as the team, they come together and say, no, this electricity needs to reach there. If we are talking about agriculture, but then people are there and the water is not there, how do we get there? Let us enable in order to, we need to be intentional if we are to reach there. Otherwise, we'll just be planning and report back on things that we failed to do, but we are not doing much in order to make sure that we fulfill what we've put.
I think they're getting ready inside. We'll come back for post-analysis for this. I think I'll be joined by Doctor for that. But gentlemen, thank you very much for a very interesting conversation here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready in the Namibian public for the speech of the governor. Let's cross over as the governor will be addressing this.
Are operational. Because if you look in Kavango, we have a lot of green schemes, and then it's one of the regions that seen as the poorest region in the country. But then yet we have green schemes. You find people going to not Uber or so to look for jobs and stuff. But then yet we have things here. We have the white elephant, which is the milling plant for which was built here in Uvungu. It was mainly for milking production and stuff. We cannot order milk in South Africa while we have resources here. So they spend a lot of money in that, but then yet nothing is going on. We have Midco. They have factory here, but then yet nothing is going on. So the governor must ensure that Midco is operational, and then for the farmer to make sure that they are selling their meat and stuff, all those things. So really, we have to work on.
Institute government, we praise and thank thee for this beautiful land, and let thy abundant blessings and wisdom therefore descend upon us, therefore in this regional council, and grant that we may humble and responsible deliberate on all matters entrusted to us for the upliftment and welfare of the citizens of this region. We ask all this in the name of our Lord and our Liberator, Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Let me use this opportunity to welcome all of you that are attending this very special council meeting. In terms of Article 110B of the Namibian Constitution, it is therefore mandated or obliged by the regional governor to have a meeting with the regional council. In that meeting is where we are also expected the regional governor to report on activities of central government, capital project that has been implemented in the past 5 years or in the past years. Therefore, during this very special council meeting, we are also expected that the honorable members of the council will be able to ask questions to the honorable governor. Honorable Governor Hamnyera Hambuka of the Kavango East region, honorable regional councillors that are present here, chief regional officer, our traditional leaders, His Worship the Mayor of our beautiful city of Rundu, the chairperson of the Vundu Village Council, our traditional leaders. I recognize the presence of our Hompa, Alphonse Kaundu, and I also recognize the presence of the former member of parliament that are here, and our former governor. I also recognize the presence of the SWAPO party regional coordinator and other political parties that are here. Like I said, This is a special council meeting where we are also expected to hear from the horse's mouth what has been transpiring in Kavango East region. And most importantly, it is outlined in Section 28 of the Regional Councils Act, where the Regional Council is expected to deliver services in the region, to be the ambassador of planning of their own development, just like how the National Planning Commission is planning for the whole country. In that regard, we are therefore going to hear what were these planning mechanisms that has been planned and that has been implemented in this region. This time around, I think we are also going to be aligned with the legal provision. When it comes to questions, after the governor will then address, then it will be followed by questions. Those questions are only allowed by honorable members of the council. The honorable councillors are the ones to ask the governor the question, because this is a council meeting. The rest of us will just pay attention and listen. Maybe if you have a question, prepare your question, put them maybe on black and white, and maybe come closer to one of the councillors that you know, then can ask for you that question. So with that then, let's look at our agenda. On the agenda, we have the adoption of the agenda, application for leave of absence by members, confirmation of the previous minutes, which is not there, interviews with deputations and persons summoned or requested to attend the meeting. There will be no interviews. Motions of members, there will be no motions. Reports and recommendations of advisory or other committee to Chief Regional Officer, there will be none. Recommendation of the Chief Regional Officer, request to convene special council meeting for the delivery of the State of the Regional Address, Sora, on the 24th of July, 2025. I think this will be the only agenda items on the agenda. HR matters, there will be no HR matters. Matters for information, date of the next meeting. So that is how our agenda will go. Then, honorable member, who moves for the adoption of the agenda? I thought you were coming to... Okay. Who's seconding? Honorable... Humble myself, and let me thank you really for coming in your number, because your coming is also a sign that you really care about this region. I will then humble myself and invite our Honorable Governor, Hamnyera Hambyuka, to deliver the State of Regional Address as it is mandated to him in the Namibian Constitution. If we can all rise, not to kadi konato, kutapangako, and welcome Honorable Governor.
We can have our seats. Honorable Damian Mwambai, Chairperson of the Kavango East Regional Council, Your Worship, Abiel Kanyanga, Mayor of Rundu Town, Honorable Christoph Kupembona, Chairperson of Divundu Village Council, Regional and Local Authority present, Fumu
Erwin Mbambo Munika in absentia, Hompa Alphonse Kaundu of the Wambunza community, Hompa Sophia Munjembwe Kanyetu of our Shambu community, all distinguished traditional leaders, Mrs. Lutgela Nangura, CRO, Kavango East Regional Council, Comrade Mushinga Otilie Shinduvi, Swapo Party Regional Coordinator, all heads of all other political parties present, Regional Commander Namibian Police, Regional Commanding Officer Namibian Defense Force, Commissioner, Namibian Correctional Services, heads of line ministries, state-owned enterprises and agencies, private sector representatives, non-governmental organizations, faith-based leaders, fellow residents of Kavango East region, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I stand before you filled with gratitude and a deep sense of responsibility as the governor of Kavango East region to deliver my maiden state of the region address for the fiscal year 2024-2025. From the onset, allow me to express my sincere gratitude to my predecessor, Honorable Bonifacius Wakudumo, former governor of the Kavango East region, for his leadership and commitment to the development of the region. I will continue building on his legacy and remarkable achievement in forging development programs for the region's shared prosperity. This address is not just a constitutional obligation as provided for in Article 110A of the Namibian Constitution, but reflect our commitment to transparency, accountability, and progress. As a region, we have collectively overcome unprecedented challenges, celebrated remarkable milestone, and now turn our focus to the opportunities that lies ahead. Therefore, it is an honor and duty to report to the citizens of Kavango East region the progress and achievements in the implementation of governmental programs and projects for the 2024-2025 financial year. During the past year, we have made significant strides in critical sectors, including education, health, agriculture, economic growth, infrastructures, development, social protection, and empowerment initiatives. Our efforts have been focused on the fast-tracking the implementation of government programs aligned with the National Development Plan 5, NDP 5, and the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2. The developmental blueprint toward a prosperous future for all residents of our region in line with the aspiration of Vision 2030. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East region, education is not merely cornerstone of our shared future. It is a fundamental right as provided for in the Namibian Constitution and a pillar of social progress of sustainable development. Within this context, the government of the Republic of Namibia remains committed to ensuring that every child, regardless of race, background, gender, and ethnicity, has access to quality education. I'm pleased to report that during the period under review, the Kavango East Regional Government has invested significantly in the construction of schools and classrooms to the tune of $4,340,000 Namibian dollars. As follows under the renovation budget. The construction of 3 classrooms at Mbambi SP in Shinyungwe Circuit, construction of the concrete slab supply and installation water plant for fresh water processing at Mukwe Circuit office. Construction of a security fence and service of sewer plantation at Divundu Combined School. Construction of a septic tank and manhole at Omega Combined School. Construction of 6-pit latrine at Tuhingireni Project School. To ensure equitable learning environment, a total number of 46 classrooms have been constructed under Phase 2 at Rabana Mudi Siremo Secondary School. 14 classrooms to Tuhingireni Project School, 14 classrooms Joy Mungunda Primary School, 3 classrooms Dr. Herbert Diaz Ndango Secondary School, 3 classrooms Augustinus Masheka Secondary School, 4 classrooms Edward Mukoya Secondary School, 4 classrooms at Maputa Junior Primary School, and 4 classrooms in our effort to promote vocational training education, 78 trainees, 788 trainees completed their programs at Rundu Vocational Training Center, of which 20 were women, constituting 26% of the total graduates. The Rundu Vocational Training Center provides targeted skills-based program, including short courses at horticulture and crop production, as well as farm machinery and infrastructures. This program continues to empower trainees with practical skills to contribute meaningful to food security and agricultural productivity in the region and beyond. It is imperative to indicate that 5 underprivileged students from the 2 Kavango regions are on the full scholarship provided by the center. As part of social responsibility, Rani Group has availed an amount of 100,000 Namibian dollars through the Office of the Governor to cater for the registration of students at various tertiary institutions and benefited 19 students. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, access to quality health care is a right, not a privilege. I am proud to report that a total amount of 243,817,869 Namibian dollars was invested in the health care programs. The budget benefited 2 district hospitals, 3 health care centers, 25 clinics, and 380 outreach points during 2024-2025 financial year. Out of this budget, bigger chunk amounting to 119,356,416 Namibian dollars was earmarked for pharmaceutical expenditures. In addition, the Shamaturu clinics was commissioned, while the construction of Mabushe Clinic relocation project that cost the regional government an amount of 7,404,017 Namibian dollars is nearly completed. Since the region is also affected by the HIV pandemics, amount of 2,424,425 Namibian dollars was allocated to enhance HIV testing and counseling services to private patients at Divundu, Karukuta village, and Kaisosi settlement. Furthermore, it is well to inform that the residents of Kavango East region that a new health post was established at Liquaterera in Rundu district, the installation of water tank at Ndama, Karapamwe, and Sauyema clinics, as well as expansion of dental service through outreach programs across all health and correctional facilities. The region's program training newly graduated pharmacists through the provision of internship at Rundu Intermediate Hospital continue to interrupt it. Moreover, 4 dentists have been recruited, 1 at Andara, 2 at Nyangana, and 1 at Rundu district to improve healthcare accessibility and ease to the pressure of long queues. To enhance our response time to community calls, 3 new ambulances were received from the central government to be allocated to Rundu Intermediate Hospital and Andara and Nyangana district hospitals, respectively. It is equally necessary to report that during the year under review, the Kavango East region received support from Intra, Health, and CDC with the construction of Bureau prefabricated structure to provide health care to our people. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East region, agriculture is the practice of cultivating land, raising animals, and producing food, fiber, and other products to meet human needs. It is one of the oldest and most important human activities in this region, as it provides the basic for food security, economic development, and sustainable livelihood for our people. Agriculture includes a wide range of activities such as planting, watering, harvesting, and processing crops, as well as breeding, feeding, and caring for animals to produce meat, dairy, and other products. It also involves managing soil and water resources using modern technology and scientific research to increase crop yield and efficiency, and addressing environmental and social challenges associated with agricultural production. In the area of food production, our emphasis on supporting farmers through training, technical assistance, and market access has been a cornerstone for sustainable agricultural growth and regional economic development. To boost food production, substances, farmers were supported with subsidized farming inputs such as fertilizers, improved seeds, pesticides, and mechanized agricultural services such as tillage, reaping, planting, and weeding services. It is pertinent to state that under the dry land crops production program and cereals value chain, 3,403 farmers benefited from subsidized seeds, 1,044 farmers with combined total hectares of 2,656 benefited from reaping and plowing services, while 93 farmers were subsidized for weeding and 18 farmers for machinery. The region is striving for the full operationalization of the Green Scheme projects to intensify food production and promote agro-processing initiatives at these projects, which may result in sustainable agriculture, employment creation, and improved food security. This is evident in the performance of Uvunguvungu Green Scheme, in which 147 hectares of maize was planted with an average yield of 8 tons, while a total of 97 hectares of wheat was planted with an average yield of 5.01 tons. It is also important to inform the residents that the Ndongalinena Green Scheme project has planted 88 hectares of maize and 22 hectares wheat, which yielded for 440 tons. This has increased to a total of 350 hectares and 110 hectares of maize and wheat planted, in which 2,600 tons is expected to be harvested. The reinstitution of Mashari Agricultural Development Institution, MADI, to serve as agricultural college is in its advanced stage, and the first intake of students is expected to start by January 2026. This college serves as an essential center for agricultural training, production. Kavango East region, however, to realize this dream, significantly investment is required to address challenges of dilapidating infrastructures, staff shortage, and equipment problems that are catalyzed to effectiveness operation. Similarly, the initiative to register with Namibia Training Authority and apply for accreditation with the Namibia Qualification Authority as a technical vocational education and training center is underway. This center is expected to train many students from the two Kavango regions and other regions in modern agricultural, food production, and other areas. The region has allocated an amount of $751,145 Namibian dollars and 22 cents to horticulture support program, which 80 farmers in terms of subsidized inputs and equipment for horticultural production. These farmers are now making a positive impact on the social lives of many residents. In the area of small stock development and distribution in the communal area, rural constituencies in the region, in which 20 farmers benefited with 21 goats each, 1 bulk and 20 does, under supervision and mentorship of the Responsibility Ministry of Agriculture, Water, Fishery, and Land Reform. This is a revolving program in which new beneficiaries are expected to be selected to benefit from the scheme. The Kavango East region has considered poultry farming as one of the viable and economical community projects. Beyond its economic importance, poultry farming plays a crucial role in food security, sustainability, and rural livelihoods. Poultry farming is more than just a source of food. It is a lifeline for many families and community. Poultry value chain is a program aimed at uplifting the poultry producers and mainstreaming them into the formal market. In this regard, a total number of 54 poultry farmers have been supported in monetary terms to the tune of 417,194 Namibian dollars, 28 cents. Agricultural practices are essential for maintaining quality breed soil health, increased production, ensuring terms farming sustainability. To ensure sustainability farming practice is implemented, a total of 6,000 6,539 farmers, of which 3,120 males, while 3,419 females received training and information on various agricultural topics and techniques. It is expected that these farmers who received the knowledge will cascade it into further to their fellow farmers in their community. The region's focus is promoting and developing aquaculture, enforcing fisheries legislation compliances, freshwater fishing, and providing scientific advance for sustainable inland fisheries management and enhancing organizational performances with activities from Kamuchonga Inland Fisheries Institution and Rundu Regional Office is a positive move in the right direction. This is done through a collaborating effort with development partners such as the United Nations Development Program and Food and Agriculture of the United Nations, FAO, to promote sustainable climate resilience, agricultural and horticulture practices in the region. At this juncture, I want to indicate that the region is also experiencing problems of illegal fishing in the Kavango River. To combat illegal freshwater fishing, 298 patrols and 269 land-based and 29 river were conducted, which resulted in the confiscation of 337 illegal fishing gears, including monofilament gill net, mosquito nets, and through nets. To maintain and promote optimal animal health production and reproduction and ensure that the safe and orderly marketing of animals and animal products through animal disease and epidemiology control. The region has taken a decision to renovate the Regional Office of Veterinary Services. The restoration, which costed the region an amount of 2 million Namibian dollars, had commenced, and it is at a 95% completion. The renovated office is expected to provide a conducive working environment and provide important information to the farmers in the region. Furthermore, the renovation of 3 community quarantine camps at Mbungu, Thomas Yave, and Matumbori Bebe is progressing well. The cost of materials for this renovation is approximately 3 million Namibian dollars. These quarantine camps will provide farmers with access to a proximity of a mythical slaughterhouse. In relation to the animal health, the outbreak lumpy skin disease in the region in September 2024, the region reported 187 mortalities among animals. However, the relentless effort of our responsibility staff members managed to contain the disease with vaccination effort reaching 62,028 cattle. In the area of rural water supply and sanitation, tremendously achievements were recorded with construction of 5 short pipelines at Kayova, Kangongo, Teya, Maputa 1, Ngangana, and Ndongalinena West to the tune of 500,000 Namibian dollars. The program is aimed at improving potable water supply in the village in Ndiona, Mukwe, Rundurura, and the Ndongalinena constituency. In order to improve access to water in the communities, 9 boreholes to the value of 3,194,714 Namibian dollars were rehabilitated Kangunja, Shakashi, Munganya, Samnaro, and Kangongo in the Mukwe constituency. Makandu in Ndongalinena constituency, Rukara in Diona constituency, Kawe in Ngangana in Rundurura constituency, and Rujajara in Mashare constituency. Moreover, new boreholes valued to $2,270,171 Namibian dollars were drilled and installed at Makora, Mbora School, Panganjara and Ngone in Rundurura constituency. Ashanja in Tonganena constituency, Muramba, Wafumbe in Mashare constituency, and Samangangani in Diona constituency respectively. In addition to this, the region also managed to install a handover 29 boreholes to the farmers in the Giriku small-scale commercial farms. It is vitally important to inform the residents that the installation of one borehole with 2 short pipe lines and 2 additional water pumps in Ngone, in Rundurura constituency, costing 1,355,915 Namibian dollars, has been completed. It was observed that many of our people in rural areas lack basic sanitation, which has particularly profound impact on children, women, and girls, and people in vulnerable situations, risking their health, safety, and dignity. Against this background, the region regarding rural sanitation is one of the key components of development in the region. This is the precise reason to invest into the construction of 105 ventilated improved pit latrine to 5 constituencies: Rundurura, Mashare, Ndongalinena, Ndiona, and Mukwe, to the tune of 2,178,959 Namibian dollars. Additionally, additional materials were procured for the construction of 40 ventilated improved pit latrine at Yuru in Mashare constituency at the cost 956,616 Namibian dollars. However, only 3 ventilated improved pit latrine were completed, and the rest to be completed during the 2025-2026 financial year. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, the Directorate of Forestry under Namibia's Ministry of Forestry, Environment, Forestry and Tourism Management is crucial to the preservation of our ecosystem sustainably, balance economic growth, and enhancing community livelihood by supporting Namibia's broader environmental and developmental goals. As a result, 4,457,000 Namibian dollars was allocated to transform dilapidated facilities into a more functional and accessible office. Equally, additional amount of 362,840 Namibian dollars were invested during the 2024-2025 financial year to enhance forest fire management training 32 local individuals from conservancies and community forests in Mdua Nyangana, and George Mukoya in critical activities such as hazard assessment, fire cutline, construction, control burning, firefighting, and equipping them with necessary tools. Furthermore, 53 local communities were trained in sustainable beekeeping and provided with essential materials at a cost of $537,752 Namibian dollars. Since capacity building plays a key role in any institution, capacity building on forestry inventory was given to 22 communities members which resulted in payment of compensation of 400,000 Namibian dollars and 13,000 to the victims. Incident of 42 livestock losses were also recorded due to predator attack that led to an offset payment of 157,400 Namibian dollars. In other incidents, a total of 40 hectares of crops were destroyed by elephant and hippos, and a total amount of 17,600 Namibian dollars were disbursed in a compensation. This incident highlighted the urgent need for enhanced awareness and strong collaborative effort to reduce human-wildlife conflicts. In terms of capital projects, notable progress has been made in the upgrading of Mahango core area, game-proof fence to an 11 kilometers long, 2.3 meters high, electrical fence to minimize animal escape from the park, especially elephants and predators. These projects were funded by the Game Product Trust Fund under the ministry. The project that employs 15 local community as laborers commenced in August 2024 and is still ongoing in Mukwe constituency. Furthermore, the drilling and installation of borehole in the Mahango core area to provide water for game species is progressing well, and the budget of $1,648,435 Namibian dollars has been allocated to the project. As part of our effort to boost the local economy through tourism, the Mahango concession in the Kwesh area and the Kavango concession in the Buffalo core area were awarded to the Hambukushu Traditional Authority, while the Old Hunting Camp and Pikapau concession were awarded to the Kwangali Traditional Authority. All these concessions are located in protected areas and for the duration of 25 years. In our quest to support community livelihood through conservancy-based initiatives, a combined income of 15,819,924 Namibian dollars 36 cents were generated through the use of indigenous natural products such as devil claw, wildlife utilization, tourism, and donor-funded activities. As a result, 127 permanent and 135 temporary employment were created and 5,000 kilograms of meat distributed to the community. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, under urban and rural infrastructure and housing development programs, road networks remain a lifeline for regional integration, trade, and access to essential services. I'm happy to report that the construction of another Shamaturu road upgrade, 17 kilometers, and the upgrading of Divundu Muhembo 5 kilometers stands at 6% and 10% progress respectively. Equally, the construction of the following road is notable progress and welcome relief of the residents of the region. Rundu Divundu rehabilitation 27 kilometers, currently at 3%, site establishment. Total budget allocation of 79.2 million. Unam Road Campus, 1.9 kilometers, fully completed. Total budget allocation was 14.5 million. Ongoing routine maintenance such as bleeding, grass moving, litter control, and consultancy services across the region, valued at 49.9 million. Through the ongoing revision of the regional road master plan, 15 roads prioritized are notable, such as the proposed upgrading of DR 3402 Vungu Vungu Divundu Combined School, 195 kilometers, to low volume seal. From this road network, several feeder roads to schools, clinics, and villages such as Dumagasi to Havo, GP, Nodo to Ngaute, and Divundu to Muhembo border post have been identified. Similarly, the Skanduko, Ngaute, Ndongalinena Road, covering the distance of 156 kilometers, has been designed. In relation to urban development, the construction of sewer and water reticulations infrastructure is in Extension 2 of Divundu Village Council at a cost of 7,441,746 Namibian dollars has been completed. This road will create employment opportunity for 23 unemployed residents. The upgrading of gravel roads and sewer network in Extension 1 and 3 at a value of 2,738,685 Namibian dollars is also anticipated to create employment for 18 individuals. Additionally, the upgrading of roads for gravel and betterment standard in Extension 2 that provided temporary employment to 34 individuals was completed at a cost of 9,736,053 Namibian dollars. It is important to inform the residents of Kavango East region that the bulk municipal electrical reticulation project in the Extension 2 that cost the 12,480,699 Namibian dollars is at 100% completion rate. This project employed 40 people during implementation. The bulk water storage project for both Divundu proper and Extension 2 at a cost of 8,086,145 Namibian dollars is currently at 60% completion rate. The project has created temporary employment opportunity for 16 residents, Furthermore, the establishment of new township in Extension 4 and 5 valued at 618,939 Namibian dollars and 626,352 respectively are currently at the inception stage. I would like to make use of this opportunity to state that the out of approved total budget of 245,995,825 construction of services in Rundu Extension 8, Phase 2, at the value at 7,038,659 Namibian dollars has been completed. The region further recorded additional achievement in the upgrading of H. Mice Joseph Road from gravel to bitumen standard, Phase 1, valued at 8,253,092 Namibian dollars, 4 cents. The region has also managed to complete the rehabilitation of Maria Mwengere and Elizabeth Nepemba Street at the value of 6,867,190 Namibian dollars. The region has drilled 2 water boreholes at Kehem Tower at the cost of 985,500 Namibian dollars and 13 cents. Furthermore, kindly note that the design and consultancy relating to the construction of the Rundu Town Council's civic building is progressing well with 8 million Namibian dollars for consultancy services. The upgrading of John Mutorwa Road from a gravel road to bitumen standard in Rundu Town at a total cost of 23,800,000 Namibian dollars has been commissioned, while the upgrading of 2.5 kilometers Unam Road for gravel to bitumen standard at a total cost of 4,564,596 Namibian dollars. 81 cents. It has been completed. The upgrading of 11.3 kilometers Sandy Road to gravel in informal settlement areas has been undertaken, of which 2 roads are in Kaisosi, 2 in Tuhingireni, 4 in Ndama, 3 in Sauyema, and 1 in Satotwa at the value of 7,800,000 Namibian dollars. Moreover, the rehabilitation of Sauyema sewer pump station at a total cost of 300,000 Namibian dollars has been completed. In an amount of 1 million Namibian dollar has been budgeted for the procurement of Sauyema, Satotwa, and Tuhingireni water booster to increase water pressure, and out of this amount, only 898,000 was spent. Equally, an amount of 400,000 Namibian dollars has been allocated for the procurement of Ndama and Sun City water boosters, but only 374,000 was spent. Stormwater master plan budgeted for 1 million Namibian dollars and 630,296 Namibian dollars was spent on the project. Drilling of 21 boreholes was completed at a total cost of 6.6 million Namibian dollars. The implementation of the prepaid water meter system Phase 1 in the region at a cost of 3.9 million is progressing well. During this period under review, The regional government managed to resettle one resettlement application in relation to leasehold levies and amount of 439,959 Namibian dollars and 79 cents was collected from communal leasehold land right holders, surpassing the annual regional target of 150,000 Namibian dollars. Which demonstrated improved compliances and administration. During the year under review, a total of 33 applications for communal land rights were received, of which 21 were successfully registered. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, through dedicated effort to provide effective services and foster sustainable development, Kavango East continue to play a vital role in shaping a brighter future for its residents and the nation as a whole. During the period under review, the region attracted private investment for the Vundu Village Council at a value of 1.5 billion for the completion of phase 1 and 2 of the Blueberry Farm. This project has created 150 employment opportunity and holds greater promises for the local economic stimulation. Moreover, the ShopRite shopping complex made an investment at the value of 15 million in the region and employs 60 people. Furthermore, the region has made a housing investment consisting of 110 residential housing units by EI Shedai Trading CC in Extension 3 is currently at the inception stage, reflecting continued interest in expanding the town's housing infrastructure. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, during the 2024-2025 financial year, the Ministry of International Relations and Trade undertook several impactful initiatives in our region, in which a total of 445 MSME certificates were issued across various sectors, helping local business formalizing and gain access to market, finance, and support services. Moreover, significant contribution achieved in the funding of small and medium enterprises under the Equipment Aid Scheme, in which 16 small and medium enterprises in the region received equipment and input to enhance their productivity and competitiveness. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, in relation to community investment, a total of 15 community income-generating projects were funded in the region, amounting to the tune of 600,000 Namibian dollars. These projects benefiting a total of 58 residents in the region. Additionally, 4 microfinancing programs, 3 cash food for work programs, and 3 regional specific action plans were supported from gardening as well as butchery, costing the regional government a total of 384,615 Namibian dollars and 38 cents. I'm glad to report that in the area of social protection, grants were disbursed to 34,869 children in the Kavango East region. Out of this figure, 11,221 children. Under the maintenance grant, 1,376. Under the foster parent grant, 1,071. Under the special maintenance grant, and 21,201 under the venerable grant. an additional total amount of 4,977 person in the region benefited. From government social grants, this includes 780 old age grant beneficiaries, 472 disability grants recipients, 3,500 beneficiaries under the new conditional basic income grant, and 287 federal claims to support families were approved. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, we remain committed to ensuring the integration of young people into national development by equipping them with marketable skills, fostering entrepreneurship, and safeguarding their well-beings. As a result, the government, through the Namibia Youth Credit Scheme, disbursed loan totaling 576,000 Namibian dollars to 91 youth after completion of business skills training. The Ndiona Youth Enterprises CC secured 330,000 Namibian dollars under the 121 rural youth enterprises initiatives. Training of over 150 adolescents, girls, and young women in comprehensive sexuality education, gender-based violence prevention, and economic empowerment was conducted in partnership with NAPA. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, in an effort to promote access to information, the regional government, through the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, conducted a community outreach, live streaming, media coverage, and digital literacy initiatives across the region. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, national documents are basic necessities for every citizen. The regional government, through the line ministry responsible for administrating and issuance of national documents, has been working together to ensure residents are registered and issued with national documents for them to access other services. This has resulted in issuance of 11,577 birth certificates and 6,953 identity cards to the people. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, let me now reflect on the critical role played by our law enforcement sector, specifically the Namibian Police Force in the Kavango East Region. In preserving peace and security throughout the 2024-2025 financial year, despite operating under constrained conditions, our men and women in uniform continue to perform their duties with diligence and enthusiasm. The approved staffing structure for the region is 1,324. However, only 800 posts are filled, leaving 524 positions vacant. This shortage cuts across all ranks, notably among inspectors, warrant officers, and constables. Despite this challenge, I'm delighted to inform the nation that the Namibian police have continued to maintain law and order, investigating offenses, prevent crimes, and protect lives and property of the residents of Kavango East Region. It is worthwhile to indicate that the notable crime rate in the region has decreased by 10% compared to the previous financial year. During the period under review, the most reported crime includes 1. Theft, and a total of 1,367 cases. Housebreaking, 719 cases. Fraud, 378 cases. Gender-based violence, 282 cases. And robbery, 276 cases. Equally, I'm pleased to report that progress has been made in addressing youth unemployment through recruitment into the police force. A total of 91 young people from Kavango East were successfully trained and graduated on the 23 May 2025. Additionally, 3 civilian staff members, a cleaner, a laborer, and a cook were also employed during the year under review period of 2024-2025. Despite this achievement, the police force also faces some operational challenges such as insufficient budget to purchase vehicles and conduct essential operations. In this regard, I echo the regional leadership's call for an increased police budget to ensure that the officers are provided with basic enabled to carry out their duties and responsibility effectively. At this juncture, let me also inform the residents of Kavango East region and the entire Namibian nation that this region also witnessed active community engagement through the establishment of community policing forums. Community policing strategies focus on building strong relationship between law enforcement and the community by working together to tackle crimes, enhance safety, and foster trust, creating a more engaged and cooperative environment for everyone involved. The forums that were established in the region through the SMART partnership with the community include Men and Women Network, 7 police stations, Youth Against Crime at Rundu, Ndama, and Keom, Neighborhood Watch, and Church Leaders Against Crime platforms. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East region, it is important to understand that a stable workforce is crucial for the development of any country or region and raises investors' confidence. As such, we concentrate our effort on safeguarding workers' rights, promoting fair labor practices, and supporting employment growth across the Kavango East region. During the period under review, 177 labor cases were successfully resolved, with a total of 354,132 Namibian dollars recovered from non-compliances employees and duly paid to the affected employees as per the provision of the labor law. In our effort to aid job seekers, a total of 2,508 job seekers were registered on the Namibian Integrated Employment Information System. During the year under review, with 206 job seekers placed across various economic sectors. Despite this effort to curb youth unemployment, our region continues to face alarming higher level of unemployment, particularly among the youth. The Kavango East region unemployed rate stands at approximately 52.0%, with the youth unemployment peaking at a distressing 60.4% above the national average. The higher unemployment rate in Kavango is driven by several structural factors, including limited industrialization development, over-reliance on subsistence agricultural and undevelopment infrastructure. This challenge is particularly severe in rural areas where access to formal employment remains extremely limited. In addition to core services, the department also provided a range of supporting programs, including school orientations, talks, vocational and career counseling, pre-retirement workshops, employees' wellness session, and motivational talks aimed at empowering both job seekers and employees to make informed career and life decisions. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, the region continue to face challenges in land distribution. However, the moratorium on the land allocation outside the designated area has slowed the resettlement process. Centralized funding for land board operations has also caused delays and discouragement among board members. Furthermore, delays in resolving communal land dispute and a lack of ownership in implementing the integrated regional land use plan continue to hamper coordinated development. However, the regional government remains committed to overcome these challenges and strengthening land governance in our region to ensure fair access, sustainability use, and inclusive development. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, the electrification of our region remains a significant priority for the region. Therefore, under the KFW-funded electrification program, 5 significant projects have been initiated in the region. These projects are at the design phase and scheduled to commence on the 1st October 2025 and to be completed by the 31st July 2026. This project includes electrification of Kaisosi, Extension 12, at a cost of 9.9 million, Kaisosi Extension 13, budgeted at 9.5 million, Ndama Extension 5, with an estimated cost of 9.3 million, Ndama Extension 7, allocated 10.3 million, and electrification of Modern Village at 10.5 million. The total investment for these upcoming KFW-funded projects stands at approximately 49.7 million. In addition to this, NORAD has also undertaken operational and capital projects using its own funds, including the fencing of mini substations and ring main units to the enhance public safety, with a budget of 125,000 Namibian dollars, together with a significant investment of 16 million towards maintenance activities, including street lights maintenances. As part of its commitment to the skills development, NORAD supported 5 student internship at the Rundu Regional Center and Divundu Center. These internships running for a full year from July 2024 to June 2025. We carried out in collaboration with vocational training centers through signed memorandum of understanding. The support value for this initiative stands at 9,900 Namibian dollars. This investment by NORAD demonstrates a clear commitment to enhance energy access, supporting infrastructures, resilience, and building future skills within the region. Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, the Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sport, Arts and Culture has requested a land in the Kavango East Region for the construction of standard sport facility at the constituency level. For this current financial year, the ministry will focus on 2 priority constituencies, which are Mukwe and Rundu Rural. The construction of this sport facility is in line with the directive from Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, and President of the Republic of Namibia, Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents of Kavango East Region, while we have made significant progress, we must also acknowledge the challenges that remains. The Ministry of Health and Social Services in the region faces multifaceted challenges, including outdated service fleet causing low outreach coverage, insufficient specialized infrastructure in key hospitals, higher teenage pregnancy rates, and rising malnutrition cases, staff shortage of contraceptives, inadequate facility hinder adolescents and mental health initiatives, procurement delays, and limited resources for addressing non-communicable disease. The rising of food poisoning cases in the region is a serious concern that requires collective effort from all of us to prevent recurrences. During the year under review, the region reported about 10,985 cases of malaria with 11 deaths. This outbreak was exacerbated by cross-border movement, which further strained health services. These challenges highlight the urgent need for infrastructure enhancement, resources allocation, and strategy planning to improve health outcomes. The implementation of government projects and programs in the region are often hindered by factors such as inadequate funding, bureaucratics, red tape, lack of infrastructure, corruption, and limited capacity or technical expertise among personnel. Additionally, poor planning, community resistance, and corruption can delay or derail projects execution, while social economic challenges and logistical issues further complicated the timely delivery and sustainability of these initiatives. The ongoing challenge of insufficient operational vehicles, delays in maintenance, and unfilled vacancies, including the absence of agricultural technicians in Rundu and Mashare ADC, significantly hinder activity implementation in the region, highlighting the urgent need for resources allocation and personnel support to enhance operational efficiency and service delivery. The Rundu Town Council faces significantly debt, totaling 350,207,794 Namibian dollar 20 cents, owed to NamWater. The residents of Rundu currently owes the council an amount of 504,936,878 Namibian dollars, 10 cents, as of April 2025. Despite this debt, the Rundu Town Council proposed capital project for the 2025-2026 fiscal year includes a significant investment in the following categories: emergency services, enhanced road infrastructure through a road graveling and tiring initiatives complemented by the procurement of the heavy machinery. Focus on enhancing community amenities, including developing a community park, establishing a new cemetery at Tuma Road, and refurbishing North Grens Sport Field. The construction of sewerage projects, which will include sewerage reticulation and pump station rehabilitation at a hydro blaster and the construction of a new Ndama sewer pump. The Ministry of Environment and Tourism in the region is facing challenges that include land allocation, conflict within the gazetted forest areas that contravene existing Forest Act and bylaws that emphasize the need for regulatory clarity and enforcement. Moreover, inadequate resources for combating forest fires, which requires increased investment in firefighting capacity and surge in illegal launching and cross-border trade to timber and wildlife products, underscoring the importance of stronger law enforcement, cross-border collaboration, and community involvement to address this illegal activity effectively. To address the reliability issues caused by aging water trucks and government vehicles, it is recommended that the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Land Reform prioritize the procurement of additional fleet to ensure consistent water delivery during emergency situations, reduce maintenance.
NBC3 is bringing you an exciting experience to put you at the center of it all with a dose of exciting movies. Enjoy your extra moments with a variety of dramas, soapies,
Shut up, Mantula!
azokhuluma nami kanje ngathi ukhuluma nempintshana ungangijwayele kakwe.
Makade, be careful, Nasaplifto.
Is he married? No, ew.
Uthi woza kuye uzokuthula yonke into.
Angicabanga akumelanga uyacabanga kakade. Xa undijongile sisi engathi umfazi onje nami.
Azongijayela kabi neza.
Thembanga ncane.
Elungisa into zakho mntana.
So what's this? And did something happen?
No, nothing happened.
Baby?
Lisa hails from the mighty Zambezi region and is in the hospitality industry. She is a food enthusiast and specializes in traditional cuisine.
This is Touch FM. It's everywhere.
National FM, Prime all the time.
Hardloop FM, leef in Afrikaans.
Ondenga podongo, oishabari pinyi jiheripo, omurari wanjibi firombaranga.
Sie sind bei Funkhaus Namibia. Deutsch gehört, gehört.
Kay samese, aridi halkau ausi.
TYSFM, Mamarato Aha.
Wato FM, Muchima wetu.
Kati FM, Kati nkupora pale thingi.
Mwanyi FM, Kai ni Kai.
Ka Radio, Kongoro Ngisima.
What on earth is going on, Skitla? Kibonwa yena damn it!
Skitla man, kanti yini ngawo? Tshele.
Shut up wena Mantula!
Azokhuluma nami kanje ngathi ukhuluma nempinjami, ungangijwayele kabi.
Makade be careful naseplifto.
Is he married? No, ew.
Uthi wosa kuye uzokuthula yonke into. Eish.
Angicabanga akumelanga uyacabanga kakade. Xa undijongile sisi engathi umfazi onje nami.
Azongijayela kabi neza.
Thembanga ncane.
Elungisa into zakho mntanami.
Because most of this crime happened because of the darkness that we have. We say we need to have a program where something needs to be started, how we go about it, and what is it that is going to fund this kind of activity. If we don't have those kind of plans, we will only be able to be reading things and reporting back on things that we are unable to be accounted to say, what I said yesterday, this is how we are going to do it, and we need to follow it up. So this kind of things, if we attend to it, everything is going to be well, for as long as everybody is reminded of what they need to do. I remember when the Minister of Transport was here, was surprised that we have we have vacancies that are not being filled. And when the people were asked, they were unable to provide satisfactory answers as to why. Who is not doing their part?
But I think the question, and maybe Doctor again, looking at this idea of we are a developmental state. So the assumptions that we're working with is that at some level we are not, there's going to be a deficit, that there are gaps.
Yeah.
The question is more, how do we respond to these gaps? What type of strategies do we want to deploy? Who has what role to play? What responsibility? Is there culture of care and shared responsibility? So really not just, I think shifting away when you talk about paradigm shifts from a blame game to a culture of accountability. How do we get that right in this country?
It's a painful observation you are bringing, especially if you take it into account of what the governor has said when it comes to the Rundu Council. It's owing water
350 million, but the residents owe the town 540 million.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whose duty is it to ensure that town council brings services to the residents? It's my duty. I have to pay my bills. Is what I mean? But we tend to come here and listen to Sora's statement, expecting government to deliver this and that and so on. But yet, our role as private citizens and residents of the region, nobody takes a responsibility to blame ourselves and say, let's do this for our government.
So you say the buck ends with the town council and not with the people that are supposed to also have a responsibility.
And that is wrong paradigm and mentality. And unless we change that, we're going to continue to have, as you say, we're in a developmental state where citizens are only expected to demand, but not to plow back into what government has to do. That is wrong. It pains me also to hear the number of identity documents that the Home Affairs Office here has produced. Yet people are not even merely coming up to collect those IDs. They are collecting them. They are there, piling up. Why do we do that? Yet still, if government does anything wrong, we are the first one to blame the government.
But then I think essentially it becomes an issue of livelihoods. Because if you have to look at the supply and demand of payments, for instance, in this context, is there opportunities to make money, to have a livelihood, to then be able to even pay for your basic services, right? So let's look at it from that perspective, the lens of livelihood. What can we say, how can we improve the livelihoods of the people in the Kavango East region? All 6 constituencies, what can be done?
You see, when we talk about us being on the developmental stage, one has to go in the area, or you that is in the area, you need to be able to identify what is it that you need. After knowing what it is that you need, you have to know which kind of door to go and knock. Follow up, all that is being said is the issue of bureaucracy, where things need to be followed up from one stage to another and all that. But then my concern again comes in where when we delay to provide services, the money is there. That's why we have so many issues of money being stolen. Because if we fast track the program that people are putting in place, the councillors that are in contact with the residents, the programs, are these programs being attended so fast to a point whereby everything is done in the time that was.
We have a serious deficit of information in our community. You see, in all constituencies, everywhere you go in the region, nobody will ever take a proactive action to participate in anything on ignorance basis. But if we have channels of information of informing residents, within
climate change, poverty or no poverty, people have to eat. It's calm and it moves gently, no pressure, no vibrations.
In this environment, we can expose them to all these different scenarios so they can learn how to preserve.
But just to clarify, Doctor, I think you bring up a very interesting point around agency.
Yeah.
Do communities and do the people at this decentralized level, do they have the agency to participate? Do young people have the agency? Do they even understand that they are part of a republic of Namibia, which means the people's country?
It's all about education.
Yes.
If they are not educated and informed, a simple statement by the governor like this one should not just end here. You need a means and channels and framework of dissemination of such kind of information so that you inform the communities and so that they become more informed in participating in the development affairs of government. One thing that you mentioned, very interesting, that caught my attention by the statement is that within the period under review, you have Burundi Town Council building a civic center, which will be a source of information